do think this player is a bit more solid in the back and forth long game when things are standard, but will he be tricked? Will he be upset? Let's see. In the top right side of the map in the red, he is the most successful player from Oceania over the last 5 years. It is Probe.
Oh, a bit of a Deus Ex vibe there for Probe for his intro music. From Intro Music Connoisseur Maynard. In the bottom left here, representing Genesis, representing Pakistan, in the blue, this is TeebuL. He got the more Daft Punky one.
Yeah.
You know,
nice and peppy.
Yeah, a bit of pep, a lot brighter.
Yeah.
Good on the nose, strong finish.
Well, we'll see if Probe can deal with that. He's going to be coming in with the Probe Scout, and TeebuL is like scouting. It's for losers. I'm not going to bother doing that, man. TeebuL doing my least favorite thing there, by the way. 3 workers on one gas, and one on the other, and then one on the other. Oh my god, dude. Every Protoss player does this in 2022. It makes me so mad. It's like, I know you're down literally like 8 gas max from that like little like, you know, time where you could have spread them. But I have seen so many top Protoss players, like the best Protoss players are doing this recently. And it's just like, I'm like, it doesn't even really matter in the big picture. You're just trying to trigger my OCD, aren't you? Like,
Are you also one of those guys that gets upset when people don't pair their workers correctly on the minerals? They just let the auto rally do its thing?
I mean, if they're a pro player, yes.
If they're a pro player, yeah.
If you're a pro player and you haven't optimized that, oh my lord.
I swear to God, I've seen a couple. I'm not going to name names, but players that I would call professional. You know, 5-figure earnings. That's 6-figure earnings.
I'm like, oh wait, actually, I'm pretty sure I've seen Hero not do that recently.
So, look, Hero is a lovely example to Protossers out there that if you don't care about rallying your workers, and also if you love the F2 button, you could be a professional gamer and win IM multiple times.
The Chaos Master, man. There's something about messing the game up for yourself from the start that means your practice is always harder and therefore better than any other players. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Dark, I think, knows all about it as well from the Zerg side.
Oh, look at this! Look at this scouting from Probe. He is. Is that 3 probes on the map looking right now?
Oh man, he's looking everywhere. And the thing is, it is just a Stargate expand off 2 Stalkers. It's quite a standard kind of greedy-ish build. So Probe scouting a bit lacking. Can we just see Probe's vision of this main base? Did he see the pylon in the back?
No, he did not. No, Insano just showed it to us right now. By the way, we've only brought it up once. I'll bring it up again. Insano has been observing for us every season, every day. He doesn't have a second observer with him. So love and respect and admiration to Insano for all of his hard work for the last 2 years. He's the only observer we've had.
Oh, dude, he's so legendary as well. He's always like, oh, I'm so sorry, I missed like one small thing, and I'm like, what? No one noticed that, dude. Like, I'm like, you care more than we do apparently because
oh god, I
nobody
missed a
noticed.
at 23 minutes, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure I was talking about Nintendo games and making a sex joke with Big at the time. So.
Well, anyway, I got to point out, obviously, like you said, 3 Probe scouts. Probe was a bit panicked, just really a bit lazy on his scouting, to be fair. He should have gone all the way in behind and around and checked. Oracle is coming in, but it's Phoenix play. So TeebuL, if he's in position, he can shut this down, and it's going to be a very nice position for him. Does Probe have recall energy is the question. Hopefully, he can recall this bad boy and keep it alive.
Yeah, TeebuL trying to go for the trap here. Really wants to kill that Oracle. Does not want it to escape.
Oh no, 3 Phoenix. I don't even know if he even with an instant recall, it might not have got out of there. Like, he is going into blink behind it, so he didn't build a second Oracle, which is good. Now TeebuL should stop at 4 Phoenix, but he's actually going up to 5. Okay, he's really going to try and be active and harass with them. Now normally here as TeebuL, you kind of have to go Robo and some Immortals because obviously blink Stalkers do beat Phoenix because you can mass them up a bit better. And, you know, you want to add something on the ground, maybe a couple Zealots, an Immortal or 2, just so that you can defend yourself from any sort of Blink Stalker retribution. Now, for Probe, you'd like to take a quick third, but of course, he's so low on Stalkers. Even just defending these Phoenix without Probe losses is going to be awkward.
Yeah. It is kind of a shepherding. You just get to push them away. You don't actually get to catch and kill anything. So it feels a little bit frustrating as a defending player, but it is what it is. And we do see a switch up. So Robo coming down for TeebuL, Forge coming down for Probe. So probably just a little bit more of a lean into the Twilight tech. Just had gateway heavy army for Probe for now.
If Probe can get some spotting pylons out, he can see where they're coming from a bit ahead of time. He does have 4 Stalkers in position, so he's done a really good job with his Stalker positioning. Only loses 2 probes here. And you can see there's a lot of Phoenix energy. So you might be like, oh, it's still probe damage. And yeah, it is. It's great damage for TeebuL. But remember that TeebuL, it's going to be hard for him to secure a third base for a little bit. And he does want to actually use that energy. He's invested in a whole 6 Phoenix, so he wants more than that. And now that Blink is already coming in, he only got 2 probes. Not amazing in terms of direct value. Of course, he's up in workers. He's going for his own Twilight, Immortals, and Sentries behind it. I would still say this position favors TeebuL.
Yeah, he's got map control, which is always nice as well, and has the potential to do more probe damage. Speaking of which, coming on in here for a bit of a flyby, getting
Blink's
4 probes
finish.
there, loses a Phoenix though, and another one.
Make it 2. Yeah.
Not worth.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the Phoenix lose value over time, but definitely not too bad for Probe, whose third base does start up. And TeebuL building a forward pylon and a DT shrine. Interesting.
What did I tell you?
Okay.
Dark Shrine every time.
It's going to delay his third base quite a lot, man.
It's a very expensive structure. It takes a long time to get it. It's a tier 3 structure, a lot of people forget. And it is, I think, the longest building structure in the game, if I'm not mistaken.
It's up there. Yeah, I think it's a 71 seconder.
Oopsie daisies.
100 Heart of the Swarm seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Which is Great Aspire, you know, all those sort of things.
Oh, of course. Yep, that's up there.
They all take about that same time, so it's definitely like the extreme tech.
Yeah, and then there's like tier 3 structures like the Ghost Academy, which builds like faster than Depot. It feels like it. Oh, that next is gonna be cancelled. That's a lot of firepower.
Damn!
Well
This is what we're
done by
talking about.
Probe.
It's hard to get a third up with this style because you're a bit less mobile. So everything like feels really good for you for a while, but because you delay Blink, it's a bit of a problem. Now TeebuL didn't just delay Blink. He's literally playing this is like a statement against Blink upgrades. He's like, I'm going charge Immortal Phoenix. Remember, we saw Butt always trying all in like this against Nice yesterday. And he only had 2 Phoenix. In this case, there's still 4 Phoenix alive, so they can pick up the Stalkers, stop them from running away, which is very useful. He's also going for a 4 DT run by. Wow.
Well, Robo's not quite done for Probe, and I haven't seen any cannons, even though he does have a Forge, so... Probe not thinking about DTs right now. He's thinking about being active with his Stalkers and getting work done on TeebuL's side of the map. So these DTs could potentially do quite a bit.
Oh, Immortals go
pickoff,
too
very
far
nice.
forward, though. Oh, man. So I think Probe traded okay there. DT's coming in, though. And, dude, does he have any detection?
Nope.
He's just dead?
I think
no
so.
cannon.
No cannon, no
Oh,
observer.
yeah, he dead. He dead. He dead! Sorry, guys. That's, yeah.
Yeah, that's... invisible units showing up when you don't have detection.
Probe was kind of behind from
look.
the get-go, so he had to cut some corners. Like, he'll get an observer out, but... Oh, it barely gets out.
Wow,
Okay.
that was close. I think honestly, I don't think the game's over, but it is pretty extreme, this damage.
Yeah. Oh, no. He's got to get rid of that DT. Okay, that finally goes down. He's going to lose gateways in the back as well. TeebuL's got his third up. He's up 7 workers. TeebuL can start really taking a massive advantage. Only 14 probes. I thought he would lose about 25 there.
Yeah.
So Probe responded like a god. On the other hand, he lost multiple pylons. Structures got depowered. He lost a ton of mining time. TeebuL should be taking a good 20 plus supply lead off of this over the next minute. He's got all of his gateways coming down.
Yeah, no denied mining. He's fully saturated.
Yeah, upgrades got delayed as well for Probe. So that's like, look at that, +2 in charge, just sitting there, not upgrading. Finally, they get back up.
They're going to have to dump the chronos in there and start catch up. I mean, he is still going to be ahead on upgrade, at least with attack upgrades. Charge already done for TeebuL, has been for a hot minute. Probe starting the Prism here, so that's just basically a big red flag saying that Probe wants to come across the map and do something and hit TeebuL back for, punishing him for his sins. See the extra infrastructure coming down for TeebuL. Another DT just being shift queued in.
Okay.
Now, this one's not going to do too much.
Yeah,
In fact, it's going to do 0.
Good responsible, defensive play there from Probe. The worker advantage for TeebuL's very scary, though. That's such a big Zealot arc on Immortal Army. Now, obviously, Zealots will help with Probe. He's not just on Stalkers. And he does have an arc on. Does he have a battery on his third? Oh, man, he doesn't know about the gateway warping in on that right side. He doesn't have a battery here. No overcharge is huge.
Oh, man, the firepower in that army from TeebuL. Like, forget the Dark Templar. He's got 4 Immortals by the looks of it with +1 attack. Oh, baby. That is a scary army right there. I don't think Probe can fight it.
Yeah, No, this is actually really hard for him. This is really difficult right now. Going for the counterattack's probably the best move he could do here. Armies are going to arrive at each other's bases at about the same time. Zealots and Archons lag a bit behind for Probe, though. He's trying to run his probes away. He realizes this might be a full base trade, so he's literally trying to just go through TeebuL's army, but I don't think a single probe got out. No, it did not. No. He's running a few probes out the left side of the map, though, so he does get out of there. TeebuL, is he going to go full base trade? He can run some probes from the third as well. This is about to go madness.
Yeah, this is getting wild. This is what happens when two big attacks hit at the same time and neither player saw it coming. All right, well, TeebuL going for the strong structures here, getting rid of the Robo, a pretty big deal. Getting rid of the Forge with +2 would be nice as well, as TeebuL's is still spinning, although I don't think either is going to finish.
DTs are going to kill a bunch of
here for Probe.
Yeah, it might. DTs in the main are killing Zealots though, Probe, yeah. So he's lost a bunch of Zealots. Finally, he cleans them up, but he's already lost a handful of Zealots to that. And remember, the third's still mining for TeebuL. Yes, there's a supply block, so it's not like he's making a massive army. Probe's up on army supply. Technically, the quality of the army does go to TeebuL right now. As you said, no +2 kicking in, Maynard.
Yeah, +2 being denied for both players. And the Dark Shrine will be taken down, which is at least a small breath of fresh air there for Probes. It's not a structure you want to have to deal with in base trades. TeebuL remaking it immediately, by the way, as long as he's still got a Twilight Council. And yeah, both players kind of reset the board in a weird way. Probe with the bigger army. Not the better army, but the bigger army. TeebuL, I think, actually, he's got some Archons in here. A lot of Stalkers, still a lot of Zealots remaining. It could be close fight, actually, between the two players. I do think that TeebuL's army's got a lot more punch to it.
Is Probe going to recall to his Nexus? Interesting that TeebuL's not going for that Nexus in the top left. Does he not know about it? I thought he went past it.
He's looking for it now. He just clicked on it.
Okay. He's going to go take that out because that's one of Probe's last structures. Okay, so Probe took a gas in his main base and he's got like no money basically. Probe can take like one more assimilator and that is it. Whereas TeebuL has 13 probes and a Nexus coming up. So the timer is on. Probe has to do something to TeebuL. And yet TeebuL has a bunch of Immortals and Archons in his army. He has the better quality army, even if he's down 8 army supply.
It's going to be very tough for TeebuL to sneak DTs past Probe here as well. I mean, this is what TeebuL has to do. Just sit there. He's mining. Probe is not. Probe cannot afford another Nexus. As long as TeebuL can slow it down, Probe can just probably, come up against a wall of static defense.
Batteries coming up as well, man. Like with overcharge on the defense, there's no way. Probe, I don't think he can bust this. He's got to try, though. He hallucinates an Archon. He's going to go for it. He's got to try and bust through now.
He's coming on in before the shield battery's finished. Getting those Zealots in quite deep. Big aggressive blink. There's the overcharged shield battery. Oh, man. Unfortunately, not enough.
The Immortals just shredded the Stalkers. They couldn't even get the battery down, Maynard. Beautiful play there by TeebuL. Well-timed Dark Templars put him ahead, and he handles the base trade with poise.
Yeah, I'd say the Phoenix opener it started off right at the beginning really, really great. Being able to catch that Oracle and picking that off, fantastic, free damage. But I feel like the Phoenix opener after that was like a little bit awkward. It really was the Dark Templar that were the MVPs there for TeebuL, and it's part of the reason why it's his favorite unit. And I think that as Probe, and honestly, as Ranger or Mio Micah or anyone else that could potentially face TeebuL in this bracket, blind counter DTs. Like, just expect them.
Against TeebuL, yeah.
It's like when you play against like all the pro gamers, the Korean pro gamers back in the day that had to play Zest and PVT. It's like DTs are coming. All right, they're coming. It's only when. It's not if, it's when. Just prepare.
Prepare. You know it's coming, and yet it is still so powerful. What I love about it though is the timing is so variable. I think TeebuL has a little bit of this Max Packs quality, where Max Packs always has part of his brain just thinking, is now a good time? Is now a good time? There's a lot of players who aren't thinking that. They only have like preset builds where they go DTs, but I feel like these guys, they have this part of their brain always calculating and looking for the moment, and they go, you're behind, you're stuck on Blink Stalkers, you can't afford a Robo right now, man. Nah, squeeze those DTs out. Huge damage.
Brilliant play from TeebuL, and he got himself a lovely game 1 out of it. We're going to take a short break, guys. When we return, Probe versus TeebuL game 2. Don't go away. We'll see you then. G'day StarCraft fans, welcome back to the EPT, or rather the DreamHack main event here for the Valencia and Summer main event for 2022. Oceanic Rest of Asia edition. I like to introduce this tournament as a different name every single time we come off from the camera, just to make sure that the branding really sticks. You know,
it is part of the ESL Pro Tour maynard. That is, of course, the overarching circuit for StarCraft. It is, you know, it's a big thing, and this is, of course, part of that. And these players are all getting points for Katowice, the big grand finals next year and stuff. So, you know what? Next time, you know, try something that's technically incorrect. See if that one gets by, because this one was totally fine.
Welcome to IEM Shanghai. Just say something like that.
We are here at China Joy Convention.
Yeah, just straight up lie.
Well, we will be casting China, unfortunately not from China, next week. So that should be fun. Get in there with Coffee and Time and XY, and hopefully Zigua is playing and stuff. We'll see who does show up, MAC qualify and everything. But of course, right now we are continuing TeebuL versus Probe. A good start for TeebuL right from the get-go. Just puts a pylon behind the mineral line, and I think he studied his opponent, and I think he realized that this guy doesn't always check the whole main base. He's gonna have to fix that up after the last game. In the red, in the bottom left, it is Probe.
That's a good track. Like Perturbator, if anyone's heard of that band, Perturbator. I'm saying it with a P, it's not a bad word. In the top right here from Genesis Gaming, representing Pakistan in this tournament, it is TeebuL. Now this is like menu music for like Jazz Jackrabbit. You know, like a 90s. I'm talking like Commodore 64 platformer.
Oh heck
like that, one of those menus, or like early level kind of music. Yeah.
The Commander Keen era. Of
yes,
gaming,
exactly. Yeah, Commander Keen. You know, all those platformers that have come and gone. Like I said, Jazz Jackrabbit, but you know, I could just imagine any of those like 8-bit old school video games.
Yeah. Probe is, I don't know if he's talking to himself. I think he's singing. He does look a little grumpy there on the camera. We'll see. Sometimes players channel their grumpiness perfectly, you know? Sometimes you see, you know, a famous sports person or someone kind of angrily talking to themselves. And that might be part of the thing that makes him play better, you know? The old McEnroe sort of G yourself up.
I find it interesting when I watch footy. So I'm you know, a bit of a Australian Football League fan. I call it footy, and a lot of people will be like, well, you mean soccer, right? No, it's Australian rules football. It's a different thing. Look it up. Sometimes you'll watch a player, and a camera will zoom in on their face, and they scream the word fudge really loudly.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why fudge is specifically what they scream. It's kind of weird, but you see it all the time. Proxy pylon from TeebuL on the far left, though, and that one is absolutely a proxy. That's not a I'm hiding a pylon to trick you. This is I'm absolutely proxying something. Might be a Stargate. Might be a Stargate from the positioning.
So Probe scouted the whole base. He sees the second pylon. He says, yep, totally normal build. Oh, wait, TeebuL did squeeze this out. Now, if Probe is super duper Gosu, he can realize that there is a probe missing in that main base. This is something that almost no high-level player checks for or pays attention to. But there is like, you will get 1 in 10 top Protoss players who will notice that there is a probe missing. I don't know if Probe's realized, though, because it looks to me like he's so far said, oh yeah, you know, we'll just cancel our pylon on the natural, we'll just build 2 Stalkers, 2 Adepts, clear up our one, get a Stargate. I don't see any signs of him realizing what's up. Otherwise, I think there would be a probe scouring the map right now.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to have triggered any alarms here for him. He's sending out his Stalker now. This is a proxy, a very popular proxy location, but nothing there at the moment. And this Stalker is, I thought it was just patrolling the high ground. Yeah, it seems to be just on patrol here, this Stalker.
That's a really quick oracle. If he doesn't start his shield battery right now, Probe is in such a big problem. If his Stalker's in the mineral line, of course he's okay, but TeebuL's going to distract him in the middle of the map. Look, his units are moving out. He's like, distraction! Look over here! Hello! Don't defend your main base! That's exactly what TeebuL wants here. This is not a serious attack. It is just a distraction, and it is working right now. Probe is pulling back. He's not too far from the main, but, oh, he needs more Stalkers, and he needs to pull those probes immediately.
Oh, hopefully a fast reaction. It's a pretty fast probe reaction there. He's lost 2 so far. About to lose 3.
Oh my god.
These other units are not in position. In fact, the Stalkers of TeebuL are just walking up the ramp to complement the Oracle.
Oh my lord. TeebuL with the proxy Stargate open and getting so much damage right now.
A Zealot attacking the probes, yeah.
He's already lost 8 workers. His adepts are just uselessly hitting a wall off. Such a clever wall off for TeebuL. He had no units at home to defend, so he just walls off completely. And look at this play. It's so nice from TeebuL. Probe here. Nice micro from him. Does keep the Stalker alive. Might get the other one. He turns on his Oracle, and he might be able to kill a couple of probes. Maybe one probe, of course, only doing 2 damage a shot. It takes 10 shots to get through those shields. Another Oracle gets more damage, and Probe's Oracle takes a ton of damage on the other side. This is game over, Maynard. This is irrecoverable.
Yeah, that's critical. And being down 7 workers at the 4 and a bit minute mark, quite brutal. Keep in mind that it's not just the workers that Probe's lost. He's also lost some Stalkers as well to the army of TeebuL that just walked up the ramp and just cut into his forces. So the small amount of money that he has got versus TeebuL has also, been spent on units that have just straight up died. And Probe just now resaturating his assimilators. He's got kind of that I've given up smile right now. I don't think Probe's long for this video game, especially if these oracles keep chipping away at these probes.
And this is what we said at the start. We said this is going to be a match where it's about, look, if you get in a long standard game, Probe I think is a bit better mechanically and with the back and forth. But TeebuL's so tricky and clever, and if he can trick Probe, at all in this series, he can suddenly run away with games. Whenever he's got a good understanding of what's going on, or he's selling his opponent in a certain story like he did in this game, it's just bam, it's brutal. Like, it doesn't look fair, it doesn't even look close, right? If TeebuL gets his mind game to work, you are just pretty much way behind from the get-go.
Yeah, the adepts finally find the proxy Stargate. There's not too many places it could be after scouting everywhere else on the right side of the map there. Probe's got Oracle coming on in for a little bit of a counter damage. It looks like TeebuL's kind of set up though. Yeah, Stalker's in the natural. He's got a shield battery in the main still.
Yeah, he could maybe stasis trap the third base, try to catch the Probe moving out to it. Obviously, he needs damage, does Probe, but he's going to try and just drag his way back into it. He's going to go in towards the main base now with that Oracle. There is a battery there. He sees the Twilight Council. Up 5 probes is TeebuL. I thought it would be more, to be honest. The supply count looks deceptively close, but you got to remember the gateways are coming up faster for TeebuL, and his blink is way ahead. So he's going to be able to get across the map, do crazy blink pressure, while also taking his own third base. Probe's going to be in survival mode.
Yeah, absolutely. He's putting out fires right now, and these adepts, I mean, any probe kills, honestly, are just adding to his woes. It wasn't too bad, though. It was a good trade. It was a good trade.
Yeah, but very well done by Probe to handle that. I like him using the Oracle when he kind of realized, like, I got to kill this immediately. I can't take any more damage. He's added some stasis traps next to the stasis trap for TeebuL, so they've both got stasis traps there. TeebuL is going to come forward with his Blink Stalkers. I imagine he'll take a third base at the same time. He's got that 400 minerals.
Yeah, it's about that time.
Ooh!
Oh my god! That thing is on 1 hit point.
Alright, Probe does not want to commit to depowering this Stargate because he needs everything at home. His Blink isn't ready. He can't escape, TeebuL up 5 workers, quicker, third base. Blink is there. Battery's going down.
Those are TeebuL stasis wards, are they?
One of each.
Oh. Well, I just found out which one's Probe's.
Yes, you did. And, oh, it's a bigger one.
And Probe just found out which one's TeebuL's.
Oh, no, that's 9 Stalkers. Now, TeebuL could dive. It's very dangerous if it was some of the Stalkers that got caught, but that's literally
all
disgusting.
Yep.
Oh my god, it's every single...
That's every single Stalker.
Oh my god.
The Adepts of Probe got a little bit of damage there. 2 for 2. 2 Adepts down. Oh my god.
Wait, that doesn't make sense. What? Does it?
What do you mean? The Probe...
The recall. Why would you recall there? I thought he could blink away, right?
He has Blink? Oh yeah, he does.
Yeah, his blink kicked in. It was a really weird choice. I mean, he only lost 1 Stalker. It could have been worse, but just a little confusing there. I guess Probe thought maybe there was another stasis trap that was blocking him from getting home. Maybe that's what he was worried about.
Yeah, maybe. That's actually
and there was. Okay. So very clever.
Oh, I like the Oracle coming on in here for the stasis ward. Good reaction from TeebuL, though.
Probe doing anything he can to get back in this, but TeebuL's like, I don't need to do damage, dude. I've delayed your third. It's more than enough. He's already got a stasis blocking the third base as well. Probe's going to try and use the batteries to retreat to and trade, but there's challenges on the way. A Phoenix is building to get rid of the Oracle in the back of his base. TeebuL's going to kill a few pylons and then just leave. This is such good play by TeebuL. He knows how to use an advantage so very well.
Yeah, loses 2 Stalkers, which is not great, but he's slowing down Probe. This is kind of like how Miyamiko was playing PvZ, honestly, or a ZVP. He was just slowing his opponent down so that he could just spiral out of control. And Probe is the one to drop the Dark Shrine. Getting caught by another stasis ward there, unfortunately. Losing 6 probes, or not losing 6 stalkers, but getting them stasis.
Yeah. Oh my god, you could see Probe building up there. There was like a huge inhale of breath. He's holding it for a few seconds, and then it was like, and you could see the words start to flow out. No doubt some very aggressive words. When this one hits, he's going to be super triggered. Oh, I'm watching Probe's camera right now just for like the sadness and the emotion, because this is a game where you're being bullied and manhandled, and you can't do much about it. Remember how much damage he took at the start. He was down to like 13 workers or something. This is a terrible position he's trying to play from. He's making it surprisingly close. I don't know how he's making it so darn close, but to me, it still feels like, okay,
he's taking some good fights, but yeah, like he's still losing infrastructure. And now with Charge here, I mean, this is a huge problem for Probe, as Charge loss is such an annoying unit for his army.
He microed it really well once again, but the Phoenix is even there to pick up a Stalker, and 4th base is on the way for TeebuL. TeebuL is only up 5 army supply, and is there an upgrade for Probe? I don't think he ever got a Forge, right?
No. Okay, there you go.
Cheeky DT coming out. There is only an Oracle and cannons for detection, so maybe Probe could get in on the 4th base and do some damage. Problem is he has no information, so likely he'll run into the cannon and maybe even lose it. DT's going to try to go out.
Could also be nice for Archons, obviously, for fighting the charge lots.
Feel like you just want disruptors so badly as Probe. Like, whenever you're this far behind, you're like, please disruptors, but it's so far away, that tech, and it's all about surviving with defender's advantage for now. DT does come in, but already a cannon finishing on the 4th base as well. Probe's not going to find anything with the DTs.
No, you can't invisible man the invisible man. Oh, this is nice though. Just hold position the rally for those probes. Oh, big fight here at the front. Big aggressive blink from TeebuL. Very confident from TeebuL. And not about that though.
His Zealots on move command in the back, they're not fighting. A few of them are, but not all of them. Does it matter when you have this many units? We'll find out. Probe with that micro, the Nexus will finish, so he'll be able to battery overcharge in the 3rd soon. TeebuL definitely overextended there, and the Zealots on move command was huge. Not again!
I think that Probe still has enough units to fight him back, though, even with that stasis.
Oh, I think you're right, Maynard.
Oh,
but
no,
reinforcements coming. Bit of a misblink for TeebuL, though. Oh, Probe's got to pull back. Probe's got to pull back. Get out of there, Probe.
Yeah, he's just trying to buy time for his Stalkers to be unstasised.
Oh, okay.
And now
he's got more Stalkers. Maybe he can blink on him again.
I would. If I was Probe, I'd go for a big old blink right on top of his face right now.
I don't know why TeebuL's committing to these fights. TeebuL has so much more economy. He's got so much money as well. He warps in 6 Zealots. How many gateways does he have? He's got 1,300 minerals after doing a full warp in. He's got 2 more gateways. He's got so much money. There's no way he should lose this game. His stasis traps have been godlike, but I told you that Probe is favored when you get into a normal game where there's a lot of interaction and drawn out situations. Probe is a mechanical beast. He is happy to just tread water in all sorts of situations, whereas TeebuL, what happens when you're this much of a tricky and cheeky player, a tricky or tricky, or depending, a tricky player, where you do end up looking for those fancy edges. Sometimes you overcomplicate things, and that's what TeebuL did with those last few fights. There's a lot of basics that weren't done properly, right? The Stalker's just blinking all forward rather than doing it tactically. The Zealots on move command. A few little mistakes from him. He does come in with his own DTs. The Stalkers say no!
Yeah, very well done. He's just trying to buy time for his Observer to come out. Just as long as the DTs aren't killing probes. I mean, losing Stalkers sucks, but...
yeah, it's much better than losing probes. Of course, he hasn't had any detection. We've had players in the chat who are, like Pez was in the chat saying, you know, DTs are probe's worst enemy in this matchup historically. So I definitely think he's had issues with it. In this scenario, it makes sense. He was so far behind. He had no money. If he built Observers earlier, he would have died to the push. So it makes sense that he wasn't ready for this. He still handles it as best he can. He resumes getting back on this base. He repowers the static. He cleans it up. TeebuL is on 5 bases.
Yeah, TeebuL's like, he is floating a bit of money. Maybe the macro is slipping a bit, but he's on so many bases, and he can just like the TeebuL fund is monstrous, and Probe is running on fumes.
TeebuL really needs a Warp Prism for sure. He should be building a forward gateway as well, or pylons, but if he can get a Warp Prism in Probe's main,
he's gonna have a disruptor.
Open up a new front, he's so screwed. Yeah, first Disruptor.
Disruptor on the way for Probe. Army pretty out of position. It's a shame he hasn't got any notice of this army on the right side. The Disruptor, I like that he's on top of the main ramp with it.
Yeah, it's an ambush Disruptor for sure, mate. But on its own, it will not defend this, and so much damage potential here. Oh, huge dive into that natural for TeebuL. Big
looking?
ball coming out.
Oh,
Gets
good ball.
about 4 or 5 stalkers, which is nice, but TeebuL's not going to be perturbed, man. He's going to get in there anyway.
He's already blinked.
3 more stalkers go down. These are good shots, of course, but without the support there to back it up, Probe is having to scramble home. He did manage to keep his 4th base alive, going for the Twilight Council as TeebuL. TeebuL is just running in and trying to kill a lot of tech, but he is now cornered inside Probe's main base. He's going to rally through the front. The 3rd base is in trouble. That's where the damage might really stack up. While he's occupying Probe here, the 3rd could get ransacked.
Yeah, I think that TeebuL might have pulled the checkmate maneuver here. He's up quite a bit of army supply. He's got a nice amount of workers as well. TeebuL going for the recall, but only after crippling Probe's main base, killing some of his tech, and still fire's being put out over here at the 3rd Nexus.
I cannot believe Probe made this game this close, Maynard. This is like, honestly, he was 2 base versus 4 base for the longest time. Now he's 3 base versus 5 base.
Probe, his face, he just can't believe it. What else can you do?
At least he's laughing. This is the difference between old Probe and new Probe. He's like laugh raging these days. He used to be just straight raging. Now he laugh rages.
I feel like 3 or 4 years ago, Probe would just have like one of those old like medieval flagellate like whips with the hooks on the back of them, and he'd be like, slapping himself in the back. I must pay
penance. And he's lashing his own back as he walks along, smacking a Bible into his forehead.
He's like, I'm sorry, Classic. I'm sorry, Hero. He's got like their pictures on there. I'm sorry, Rain.
Dude, that was a spectacular game from Probe. But I love that TeebuL just like never ran out of tricky moves. Number 1 being Stasis Traps 13 to 17, which were just as effective as Stasis Traps 1, 2, 3, and 4. Oh my god, that was Stasis torture. Literally, he just kept on putting Probe's stalkers in the naughty corner. And yeah, just giving him a bit of a telling off. He just got, I don't know what we call that style, Maynard, but did he get super nannied or something? Like, I don't know. He just got timed out. It was the timeout build.
I love that we get to cast together every now and then, man. It's been way too long, but I literally forgot Super Nanny existed until we logged on for this broadcast today. I mean, obviously
ancient reality shows. I'll never forget them, mate.
Last one I watched was Tiger King. But this proxy Stargate from TeebuL, I mean, it felt like he started to get the ball rolling with this proxy Oracle, and it did so much damage that Probe was like recovering from that for the next 10 minutes.
Yeah, he sold a story to Probe as well. Like when you're thinking about the 1 gate expanders, Probe, you're pylon blocking early on, and so brutal, man.
Now, this fight was actually quite good for Probe, I feel. Like,
look at the zealots on the top left.
Yeah, just on move command.
Yeah, like one of them started fighting, then another, but. And he blanked all his stalkers headbutt forward as well, right? So yeah, and no reinforcement point was probably the main problem here. TeebuL was a bit slow to get a warp prism or forward pylons.
Yeah, and this was the kill move from TeebuL. It took a few more seconds for Probe to die, but just coming in and grabbing things like the Twilight Council means you can't replay, or rather remake some of that important tech. He's lost 9 o'clock, and Probe left without any chance of coming back against TeebuL there in the end of game 2, with TeebuL finding himself on match point here as we approach game 3.
Indeed, dude. TeebuL is smashing it. I mean, for a long time, I've always felt that as a player is in an unfavored matchup, you should play aggressively, you should play cheesy. If you haven't been practicing as much, you should bring out your dirty builds. Probe has been one of these players, and it's kind of the modern age of StarCraft, where a lot of players have the opposite mindset, where they say, nah, just defend and play good. And even when he hasn't been necessarily practicing as much, which obviously was recently for Probe. He's now practicing a lot more because obviously he's just finished his degree. But he's had this approach of very straight up normal play. And with that play, it gives you very little margin for error. In that last game, he needed to notice that there was a Probe missing in the main base with his worker scout, something that people very rarely look for. He did not notice that, and so he ends up dying. He's gonna have to play a beautiful game here, but he picked this map. Show us Rangers build, you know you want to. You died to it yesterday. Maybe now it's your turn to harness the power of the dark side and the gold base. Let's go in the bottom right side in the red. I don't want this series to be over yet. This is Probe.
The Jazz Jackrabbit intro music. Nice. And here at the top left, 1 map away from a 3-0 victory. Can he do it? This is Genesis TeebuL.
Shout out to TeebuL, by the way. Like, you know, when the 9 stalkers recalled, and I was like, that doesn't make sense. I was just so confused. There was actually a stasis in between those stalkers and his natural that TeebuL had set up there, specifically expecting Probe to blink backwards.
Very big brain.
His dirty stasis traps, man.
He's putting the S in RTS, TeebuL, and I appreciate that.
Oh yeah, clever boy. All right, well, so far low ground gateway for Probe, and it is a high ground gateway, but one gate Nexus for TeebuL.
Well,
That's
Nexus
a
first.
very
No. Oh no, one gate
no,
Nexus.
no, no,
Never mind.
But it's a very quick Nexus. It was like a 17 or 18 Nexus. TeebuL, you're not doing Parting's PVT build. Yes, you are. Dude, he's going to proxy a gateway and do a 3-gate all-in or 4-gate all-in, I think. He's got all of his chrono boost saved. He's taken the Nexus really, really early. And if he starts dumping that into the Cyber Core, then keep your eyes peeled. He does need to start a proxy pretty soon, though, if he's going to do that. Because it would be something that hits, like, insanely early. It'll be hitting about pre 3 minutes 30 if he does that.
Looks like Probe's also stolen a gas.
Yeah, 3-gate. There we go. So I thought he'd be proxying a gate forward, but this is a PVT build. Probe should be familiar with this build. Every Protoss player should be, because, you know, you've done it to Protoss players. Now, Probe did, of course, yeah, he's going to full wall. Okay, so he's kind of funneled TeebuL into this. Does he realize, and does he prepare for it, though? Because he's going to need batteries, and he's going to need to be really safe at home.
Yeah, you are not wrong. And we have all the information here. It's up to Probe to get that for himself and make the right call here. Very, very cheeky build. I mean, it is a build that you'd find weird, right? Oh my goodness. What the heck?
Oh my god, because the thing is, he's chronoed his gateways, right? So he's going to have warp gate ready at 3 minutes and 18 seconds. So he's like, if I can just get a pylon up, I can warp it in there, and then he's dead, because he knows Probe only has one gate. Probe is doing the perfect response, though. He's not attacking with every Probe. 2 of them are blocked there. So, but just in terms of, you take these pylons down, you go back to mining. Yes, you lose a lot of mining, but TeebuL has no offensive pylon. He had no Probe on the other side of the map. Because Probe full walled him, TeebuL couldn't get his Probe out of the base. So he did this as a desperation plan, and it has massively backfired.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, indeed. What an awkward start to this game. Potentially match point.
Yeah, and you know, I think Probe needs to just be confident and build workers here. It's just so hard to do that because he just lost so much mining. Like, we have the info, and obviously TeebuL's going to probe up here. And the thing is, the gas can see chronos on the Nexus. So he needs to probe up. Yes, okay, he looked at his assimilator, he saw the chrono on the Nexus, and he's just like, yeah, okay, probe, build the Oracle, go back to a normal game. So this is very good that Probe has realized that, because TeebuL is just holding the worker key down, and he's still got 3 gateways. So yeah, he doesn't have blink, but he can make plenty of stalkers whenever he needs to. He's already got his production up. He's got a small worker lead. It's very playable for TeebuL.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Tons of production. Gonna hurt his own economy a little bit, I think, in the upcoming moments. But it did take a bit for Probe to sort of catch wind that he's got freedom to solidify his mining back on 2 bases here and just rely on the Oracle. He's like, I can sit back, you know, don't need to build static D. Just chill, let the Oracle do its thing, see what's coming next from TeebuL, which is a Twilight Council as we conceive it. There it is.
Yeah, he'll just be going blink here. I think a quick third makes sense for TeebuL as well. For TeebuL, you've got a great economy. You just don't have tech or a lot of army. You're kind of forced to be defensive for a long time. Now, Probe doesn't have that much either. He's just got the Oracle, which will at least give him some very good vision. And indeed, third base on the gold for TeebuL. And Probe puts a stasis down on the normie base. Probe, gotta go 5-head. You gotta think this is TeebuL, man. He has not done anything straight up in this series yet. And yeah, he spots it. Good scouting for Probe.
Very well scouted. And I think being scouting a lot, being vigilant, keeping an eye on what TeebuL's doing and making the right call is going to be the comeback trail here for Probe. Just tightening up the ship, keeping things close to his chest. A lot of gateways on the way here. Blink married up for both players. An upgrade lead for Probe. He's got that extra earlier +1.
And he's going to just do a big blink timing off this 5 gateways, or I think going up to 4, right? Because he only had 1 gate to start. So 4-gate blink, kills his own Stargate, takes a third, and goes forward from there. I'd like to see him get a forward pylon as well, would be really nice. If he could warp in near the gold base to reinforce, he might be able to kill it.
May indeed. And that gold base is very, very bold. I mean, it always is the gold base on this map.
Look at the production tab, Maynard. TeebuL. He has a fetish, man.
Yeah.
He has a fetish.
Yeah. If there's no Dark Shrine, I can't get what I need.
Someone showed him that Hollow Man movie as a kid, and since then he's obsessed.
The Kevin Bacon one?
Yep.
Oh my god, Even in the 90s, that made me feel dirty. I'm like, this isn't right. I was like too young to understand that stuff, and when I saw that movie,
creepiest movie.
Yeah. Oh boy!
Right.
Don't anyone watch it, by the way. If you're out there in chat, if you've already seen it, obviously you can't turn back time. But don't go and see it now. That's what I'm saying.
All right, Robo is on the way. +1 finishing up. Probe, he's going to go for the counter attack to the natural and then the recall. I love it because he's like, yeah, you're going to be focused on defending the gold. You're going to be way out of position. Good moves by Probe. He's the one who's playing a little bit trickier this time. This is very nice. TeebuL's way ahead on income though, so Probe, he's got to have urgency with these moves. And the Stalkers actually, they come back. They're not too far behind. Uh-oh, Probe's in trouble.
Yeah, he's...
Oh, he's trying to just leave. Oh,
okay.
no.
I mean...
No, he's going to lose like 4 Stalkers because Blink is way ahead for TeebuL, isn't it?
Well, I mean, TeebuL is going to lose some probes here, so it's not all for nothing.
Oh, they're not synced up.
Unsynced.
Yeah, okay, that's all right, though. They're getting some kills now. 5 kills, 6 kills, that's not bad. Oh, okay, resync him. Now, you got to have equal distance to the probes. That's why they weren't synced up for anyone wondering. Because it doesn't matter if they shoot at the same time. If they're both standing at different distances, the shots won't sync up.
And by the way, like, he didn't lose that many Stalkers, rather. A lot of them escaped.
Yeah. Surprisingly there, and obviously that's because of the 2-prong. We see now why Probe was doing it this way. 10 worker kills.
Nice. Very well done.
So far out on the upgrades as well. And remember how confident he was against Ranger. He almost beat Ranger in this situation, except Ranger had his gold base as well. And Probe still almost held on in that game. Wait, why is he running away? Oh, DTs? Oh, whoa. DTs are in the base. Oh, no.
Yeah, going for the pylon here, going for that +2 attack upgrade. Meanwhile, TeebuL going to use the chaos to try and hit that third nexus. He's going to get some serious work done here.
Uh-oh, the DTs, man. Oh, Pez called this in the Twitch chat earlier. He said they're his worst enemy, and they're TeebuL's specialty. Yeah. Honestly, TeebuL's specialty happens to be the Achilles heel of Probe. This is just beautiful play by TeebuL. His DTs are always coming out at the right time and always surprising Probe. You said you got to be ready for it, Maynard, and I think you're absolutely right. Like, I think you've just got to have an observer outside your natural every single game by what, 7 minutes, 7:30, something like that.
Yeah, or I guess an oracle that you can recall or something like that. I don't know. It's easy to sit here in my armchair with my my glass of bourbon and my smoking jacket and just go
Yes, indeed. Yeah. I think there's going to be DTs at some point. I think maybe a cannon in every game.
But it's right. You know, in hindsight, Probe will be making the same adjustments. He will be. And there's certain players who you have to do this against in PvP where the observer always left at home outside your natural. So you see when the DTs first run in and you have time to warp in and respond. It's actually like the one-size-fits-all solution is just you have an observer outside your natural, you're always going to be okay. It can get to your third real quick. It'll stop them getting in your main. Right now, though, Probe is outnumbered. TeebuL is going to shove in there. He's got so many Stalkers, but the batteries are here. And TeebuL is definitely getting a bit overexcited. The Nexus is not finished, so he can't overcharge just yet. Oh, no. There are so many Stalkers for TeebuL, but they are headbutting into a big arc.
They are indeed. The supplies are amazingly close here for this army fight. And I think TeebuL maybe bit off a little bit more than he could chew there. That's amazing.
He's got so much room for error, though, because he's got a gold base behind this. This is the big problem that Probe's having here by not taking his own gold or really hard punishing TeebuL's. Like, I think he could have just committed to a huge blink all-in on 2-base and killed TeebuL's gold base. I do think that in hindsight, because his opening was good enough. You know, he played really nice in the opening defense. But TeebuL's gotten away with it, and Probe's just playing such a kind of generic defend the third style. And you know what? It would have worked if not for the Dark Templar. So, you know, we can pick and choose. Should he have punished the gold? Maybe he should have just defended the DTs better. These are all things that are running through Probe's mind. He's got to stay focused on the here and now, though. He's down 20 supply. He's trying to take a fourth. He's trying to go charge. Part of me wonders if he should skip charge and just go straight to disruptors and play pure Stalker disruptor. You know, I think you're in a situation where it calls for extraordinary measures.
Yeah, I mean, he's not wrong in the sense that this army will be amazing if he gets there, but it's a big if. I think TeebuL is not going to give him a whole lot of breathing room. He's got a very active army. A good snap there from Probe. It's off that stalk from the retreat there, loses nothing.
Oh man, TeebuL's money's just off the chain. His fourth is up. I'd like to see TeebuL take a fifth off this as well, because the gold does mine out pretty quickly. You know, downside of you harvesting so insanely fast is the base runs out quickly. Who knew? Upgrade advantages to Probe, so that is the one thing going in his favor. He's down 40 supply, man. That's
brutal.
Not something that you Zealot Stalker with an extra upgrade advantage, usually not a comeback style. But what we've seen in this tournament so far is good positioning can make up for a fair bit of that, especially if TeebuL gets overeager. But look at TeebuL, dude, 5th base and a Warp Prism. I think if he gets Zealot Warping in the main at the same time, Probe's going to be super hard pressed.
Indeed. 6 o'clock Nexus is up and running now for Probe, continuing to try and get those workers up to where he wants them to be, but the army supply is telling the tale right now. Probe has been up an upgrade or two for most of this game, but it would have played a part in the defense as well. You know, you can be down a few units, but still the upgrades can make the difference. But when you're down almost 40 supply or 30 supply, like that's plus one, an extra attack upgrade doesn't really super help you there. What does help you though is, like you mentioned, disruptors.
My God. 400 Zealots, Maynard. There's only one Archon. Archon's good versus Zealots, but when you've got one fighting 40, you know, especially if the Stalkers of TeebuL focus it down, this is a hard position. TeebuL is maxed out and he is taking a little long, but the upgrades are even right now, so it's a very clever moment for him to fight. Probe is down 30 army supply, but TeebuL's dawdling. TeebuL's got to get a move on. He's got to go right now.
And he's got a very, like, it's just Zealots and Stalkers.
Oh man, yeah, and the Archon is really scaring him. Dude, I think he's got to split his army up and just like get attacking and trading. The longer he lets this go, he's sitting on resources. He's letting Probe catch up. Probe's income advantage is improving. He's got the DT train. Probe's hanging on. TeebuL, where is that Warp Prism?
Yeah, he kind of didn't have it last game either, did he? It was just not a... Oh, there it is.
Okay, yeah. Oh, no. Oh, that's a big problem for Probe. Okay, how well can he handle this? The attack's going to come in on the front at the same time. And, of course, Probe realizes that he sends an observer back. He'll try to warp in units, but, oh, my God, he's losing his gateway production. He might not be able to warp in. Oh, this is a huge move for TeebuL. The Warp Prism in the main is massive.
So he won't have gateway production, but I actually think Probe can still win this fight. I think his army is big enough. I think it's complex enough to beat TeebuL's right now with these Archons, with his own wall charge lots. It's going to depend on the positioning. The Archons get out there. They start fighting the charge lots. TeebuL's charge lots are taking splash damage here. It's a very, very close fight here on the front line. Probe starting to maintain that arc. The Archon's still very healthy.
Yeah, crushing it. Probe crushes the fight. The damage in the main, though, is real. We've got to check in on that main base. Has he cleared it up? He still hasn't. Oh, no.
All of these Kevin Bacons forcing themselves non-consensually in the main base there of Probe. It's brutal. It's terrible. Don't watch it. Don't show it to your children.
Oh my God, it is
this game never existed.
Dude, TeebuL, the master of Dark Templar, and Probe getting caught off guard. He is now all in. He has to make it happen, but look at how many units have warped in. A huge Zealots around TeebuL.
Oh, unfortunate there.
Oh, TeebuL. I mean,
man.
like I said, remember I said he has so much room for error. That's what we're talking about. You kill his maxed army, he's already got 35 more Zealots. He's on 5 bases. He's on like 12 or 14 gateways. He's just cleared out the main in the production of Probe. Probe has done some very impressive things in this series, but that Prism sneaking by along the bottom of the map, it was the checkmate.
Checkmate indeed. The DT showing its face and getting work done, especially in Game 1 and Game 3 there for TeebuL.